Signed, sealed, delivered, the divorce is happening. The news was revealed that Kim filed against Kanye West on Friday. The couple have been married for nearly 7 years, but after months of speculation, they're calling it quits. Joining us with exclusive access to the divorce papers is California family law attorney Kelly Chang Rickert.
Hi, everyone.
Kelly, welcome.
Hey, Kelly. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's so great to be on Lit.
Oh, yeah, we're thrilled to have you. We know there's so much to get into. Kim filed on Friday. Is there any particular reason for choosing that day? Is it typical in a divorce case to file right before the weekend?
So I think a typical strategy would be to file 4:30 right when the court closes on Friday, so the news outlets don't get a hold of it until the weekend, until Monday. But actually, I think what happened was they actually dropped it off a couple days earlier because during COVID time, the courts are a little backed up with filings. So I have no idea when they filed it, but it looks like the papers went through on Friday.
Is there any significance of Kim filing over Kanye? So does the person who filed have more say in the case?
No, absolutely not. In a divorce, it doesn't matter who is a petitioner or respondent. The only significance would be if it goes to a trial, which in this case it will not. The petitioner would have the chance to present evidence first. But as far as legal rights, the first to file doesn't have any more legal rights than the respondent.
So you have access to some of the papers filed by Kim, which I mean feels like a bit of a coup. What are the grounds? Can you reveal to us the grounds for the filing?
Yeah, divorce papers are no secret in Los Angeles County. Anybody with a case number or with a last name can search by case. So that's how TMZ gets all their papers. I would say 99.9% of all cases, their grounds are irreconcilable differences. And that's what this divorce is based on.
And then, so speaking to custody of their children, Kim is seeking joint legal and physical custody of their 4 children. Is this likely to get split evenly? Can you see any situation where it would not?
So in terms of custody, I believe the couple has already worked out a parenting plan before the divorce was filed. In fact, I'm speculating they actually worked out all the details of the divorce before any of the papers were filed, because that's what smart celebrities do. In terms of custody, it is my understanding that Kanye lives in Wyoming. So it's not going to be an exact 50-50 timeshare because kids aren't going to be traveling back and forth, back and forth. They probably will share joint legal custody, which is the decision-making power regarding the children. But as far as timeshare, it's probably not going to be an exact 50-50 timeshare.
Okay. Now, Kelly, Kim and Kanye have a prenup. And to your knowledge, are either party like disputing anything? Like, can you reveal that, or do you know?
So I think the rumor is they have a valid prenup and neither of them are disputing it. This is Kim's 3rd marriage, so she's being very smart about it. I don't know if Kanye was married before, but the prenup will likely dictate what was separate coming into the marriage, and it will also probably have a clause saying whatever was acquired during the marriage will be separate. So it probably will be much ado about nothing dividing the assets.
Got it.
So because they have a solid prenup, you're saying this should be pretty clean cut. Are there any takeaways for people who are not Kim Kardashian, not Kanye West, but that they could learn from this type of divorce?
Yes, get a prenup. I think that's the biggest lesson you can derive from a high asset divorce, is that everyone going in should have a prenup, because the prenup is going to articulate what is your separate before the marriage. And then if you keep everything separate during the marriage, there's not going to be anything to dispute after the marriage is over. So I think if you're coming in with a lot of assets and debts, everybody should have a prenup. So that is the one takeaway that we can get from a high asset divorce such as Kanye and Kim, that they're very smart going into the marriage, and it'll be easier to get out of when you're coming out of the marriage.
It's good to hear that. And Kanye was spotted returning to Malibu at the end of the weekend. Will this be a sign that he went back to return his papers? Does he now need to stick in that location, or can he go back to Wyoming?
No, as long as there's no court hearing pending, which I looked up on the internet, there's no court hearing. He can be anywhere he wants. I think he's probably very amicable with her, so they're just going to continue as normal people while the media buzzes around them.
So, I mean, with the prenup outlining things so clearly, quite possibly, and with it being a high asset kind of splitting of the ways that for the most part may be settled, are there potentially any blind spots or anything that could come up that maybe they didn't predict, or a worst case scenario, or will this be mostly smooth sailing, do you think?
So my prediction is that it's going to be very smooth sailing, and that's because Kim Kardashian is represented by a pro. Her name is Laura Wasser, and she has a very collaborative way of doing things. So a lot like Kris Jenner and Bruce Jenner's original divorce, we didn't hear about it until it was all finalized. I think that's going to go this way in this divorce. So unfortunately, we're not going to get much to hear about their divorce, and I think the papers will be pretty private. It's just going to assign whatever is theirs to them, so you won't see the huge estate they have. That's what a smart celebrity couple would do, and I predict that's going to happen here.
Got it. Okay, so we're hearing a lot about this $2.1 billion figure. How is this evaluated? Like, how do they determine personal wealth? Because it's just so much. They have so much.
So typically in a divorce, we would hire forensic accountants to go through and evaluate each and every one of the assets and debts. But in this case, I think because they have a prenup and things are already divided as to what is separate and what is community, we're not going to have as much money spent on these forensic accountants. You can easily spend over six figures, hundreds of thousands of dollars paying forensics to value each one of your assets. A lot of money.
That's wild.
That is crazy.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Kelly, what about?
I don't even handle
What about-
high asset divorces, and I think the largest one I've had, the parties spent over $6 million in attorney's fees. So you can imagine in Hollywood
me?
when you have access.
Oh,
Yeah, $6 million.
That
But
is
what?
a lot.
Does something like that get prevented if you have a solid prenup?
Well, I think a prenup helps, but I think the number one way of preventing expensive divorces is to be mature and not crazy. Because clearly, if you are mature and you're not crazy and you make decisions on behalf of your family, you're not going to go to the press and like badmouth each other. I mean, there's a number of cases that I can say that the parties are clearly very immature, and I'm not going to list that, but I don't think this couple is going to go down that path.
Okay, well, fingers crossed. But Kelly, would you, would Kim, do you think Kim would be entitled to her Calabasas home since, I mean, that's where the kids live?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know who purchased it, but I would assume that whoever purchased it, the prenup would already say whatever money went into it stays separate. So whoever bought it,
okay.
assuming they didn't buy it with joint funds, it would be given to Kim. And I don't think Kanye's going to dispute it because Kanye has a beautiful ranch in Wyoming. And it seems like they co-parent really well. They have these 4 adorable, cute children. And I think the Kardashians, if anything, know what good parenting is. So they're going to shield their kids from all this toxic waste that a lot of other celebrities don't know how to do.
Kelly, I know that in a lot of legal battles, NDAs are involved. Could that ever happen in a divorce to try to prevent Kanye West from rapping or singing about Kim?
They might have an agreement in their judgment or marital settlement agreement that says that you can't badmouth the other. The problem with agreements like that is it's hardly ever enforceable, because how do you prevent somebody from badmouthing you? So I think these people are very savvy about making money, and they're very savvy about keeping wealth in their family. So I don't think that there's going to be much badmouthing. I know a lot of people are concerned that Kanye has alleged bipolar disorder and he might do something bad, but I honestly think they've been in counseling before, and all of this was worked out before the filing of the papers. So hopefully it'll go as swimmingly as I predict, for the sake of the family.
And why wait a year? We know that Kim got Kelly Wasser or Laura Wasser as her lawyer a year ago. Why wait so long to actually file for divorce?
Because I think they were working out the details of their divorce. So the people that really want privacy, such as Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck, the Jenners when they had their divorce, the very smart private people have an agreement all worked out before the papers hit the press. because these papers were public, and once the press gets their hands a hold of it, it's everywhere. So I think these people are very smart. They had it worked out already. You know, it was kept under seal, and now it's finally going public, but there's not going to be much nastiness because it's all done. That's what I think.
Wow.
That makes sense.
Kelly, thank you so much.
Yeah,
we
smart
really
people.
appreciate it. And yeah, I know we're going to be catching up with you later on and diving into how Kim and Kanye's social presence might affect their divorce proceedings. So we'll catch up with you soon.
Yes, absolutely. It's an honor. Thanks, you guys.
Coming up, we chat live to Kate Flannery, star of The Office, and Hailey Bieber has left us all shook. Don't go anywhere. You know, that was, it was surprising to hear the level of restraint that Kelly anticipates for this divorce, right?
Yeah, I learned a lot. I didn't know that they did. They filed
me too.
all of
I'm
their,
happy
like,
she's
assets
joining
and
us
everything.
later.
That's
All right, don't go anywhere. Stay lit.